Karibuni sana Lukenya University. Karibuni sana Lukenya University. The library.
Beautiful Morgan for the next 2027 Lukenya Beauty Pageant Show. So that they can see the ones from the Rajani, can see the ones from community school, you see the beautiful boys and girls. I don't know whether the boys are also beautiful. Are they beautiful? Are boys beautiful? Boys are, they are handsome. Wow. So beauty is a boy. Beauty is love. Therefore, beauty is a handsome boy. Is that what you mean? Wow. Can you clap for yourself? Jani, boy, can you clap for yourself? Take yourself up. Psych again. Psych. Yeah, I'm requesting our teachers, if they will come, the teachers from the Rajani, they can come and sit at the front, just like our teachers from Community Secondary School, that's Lukenya Community Secondary School. I'm requesting our teachers from the Rajani, you are our guests, you mean a lot to us, and we really appreciate it.
Hiyo ni kama imeoverheat. Yaani kamera inakataa.
We don't take that for granted.
Inakataa kuchukua.
Yeah, and those students who are in class, those who are free, kindly you can come. We are starting our program. So Jarajani and the teachers, don't worry, our students are also in class. So the normal teaching program begins, not continues. That's why you can see it's almost 11. So we start at 11 and our classes begins from 8 to 10. Then you have a 1 hour break. Then from 11 to 12. That's why you're not seeing students here. They are going to class. So that they will be coming, so that they can also mingle and also try to high school students that you have. Otherwise, feel welcome. We're just starting.
Side.
comfortable with. That's what we requested them to wear. So they are coming. They have worn so many.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is the Lukenya University Drama Club. I'm Yawera, not Kawera, but yes, we're going to present a very short skit, very short one, educative, and also tutaongea kitu hapo baadaye. Sawa.
Action 3, 2, 1, out.
There is no way you're going to tell me that. Our son will only be studying in school. Let's do something else.
What time do we have again?
But that's not what that matters.
All that matters.
You realize that he has no friends.
Look at us now. Everything that matters right now is academic.
Academic, we are acting right now. This is not social skills.
So the ones who are learning.
Hey,
My
I
son,
assure you, he's a drunkard.
let me tell you, my son's grade in school are very good.
I'm telling you, sahi, grade zote kusoma hivi ni namba ya simu 071 ndani yako tukianza na 1.
There is a one.
Na 1, really? That's the one that matters to you?
He's good in academics. That is why he's always a number one.
Who are you? Let me ask you a question. So you want him to study law, the law that keeps you at home 24/7. Hauna kazi? Wait.
Let's go to
Let
school
me
and
finish.
finish.
Ngoja. Mimi hii acting makataa ingie ndio inakuvalisha. Angalia kiatu. Inakulisha, ona uko na misuri. Pesa unaenda kupatia nayo wasichana is from my acting money. So he's going to join acting.
But you know, the law can provide more money than that.
Twende shule uone anaanguka huko wako na 01 kama wewe.
Sasa huyo kijana penye nilikuwa nakwambia, baba yake amemtoa drama. Hapana, masomo yake inajimia. Unajua mimi kwanza namfunza drama, huyu kijana anajua kwa, lakini ako na potential. Sasa mimi nakwambia, kwanza saa hii kwanza na amelewa, si ni huyu? Kijana. Unalewa. Umeingia tena pombe. Huyu ni nani? Huyu ni nani? Huyu nani? Mbona unalewa kwanza vipi kaa hapa chini? Mbona unalewa? Wapi? Mbona mnalewa? Unajua babako akikuja hapa atakuchapa vibaya sana. Do you know your father? Mimi unaniuliza mimi nani? Mimi nani? Unajua babako akikuja atakuchapa vibaya sana. Mbona na anajifanya lawyer,
Nasema unajua
ndio huyo.
What happened?
You took him out of drama. Now see his life.
Your boyfriend.
Calm down.
Can you shut up?
No, you know what? You cannot argue. You cannot solve anything by arguing.
But he's my son.
You are the one who took him out of drama.
When important people are speaking.
No, education is fine. Now settle down. We need to solve this case. Baba Lucha, now look at your son. You need to make him come back to drama. I know he's bright, but he can do a lot of things more than
He
study.
cannot listen to you.
No, Mama
He
Lucha.
can never listen. I know
Mama
him.
Lucha.
I have been with him for 20 fucking years.
Okay. It seems like there is no way out of this.
There is a way.
There is.
There is a way. Your son is bright.
Very bright. No, my son, not him.
No, your son is bright. Okay, he's academic. Not about
And
right
wait,
now.
and
Lakini
shut
akiongeza,
up when intelligent people are speaking.
lakini akiongeza kidogo, akiweka effort kidogo, atapata kitu.
It is not a matter of effort. He needs his social life.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
Please, and I need my girlfriend. Not your girlfriend. What? Can you all shut up?
Where?
I'm trying to talk here. Okay?
Yeah.
What do you wanna do? Wanna ask? Okay. I'll let you follow your dream. As long as you will not disappoint me. Because so far I'm disappointed as a father.
Look who is giving choices.
Shut up, woman. Don't bring your family.
Shut up. Oh my God. Everyone nishike nisiwe mtu.
Okay, now let's solve this. Baba Lucha, we thank you because you have accepted your son to go back to drama. Mama Lucha, thank you for nothing but okay.
Oh my God, what did you do?
Thank you. Lucha, director, come back, director. His son is good in academics, right? Using his academics, first the languages. You can use the languages to train him in drama. Exactly. Using the curriculum. Using the curriculum, he can sing. 3, 2, 1. Drum.
Good morning. Good morning. Sema ndio. Sema ndio. Ndio, hii ni asubuhi njema, sema ndio. Mwalimu wenu wa Kiingereza hayuko. Kwa hivyo leo ni mimi nitawafunza. Sema ndio. Ndio. Yaani mwalimu hayuko around na around, sisemi around ya kupewa permission. Sema permission. Sisemi around ya kuenda mzunguko. Sema mzunguko. Nasema around ya kukua karibu. Sema karibu. Ndio, sema ndio. Wewe usemi ndio, kuja utuambie ndio. Tuambie ndio.
Yeah.
Ndio, very nice. Tutaonana tena nikikula, saa hizi konja.
Thank you, Kaweda. But you didn't tell us the hours of one. They will want to hear that because here we are doing motivation.
So we went for the University Arts Association. We won several awards. Number 1 was the best scripted play, best characterization, adjudicators award. We had best solover, best parody, best dance, that is street dance and modern dance. So kama kuna dancers hapa tukiwaita mkuje mtusaidie, sawa sawa. We had other awards in, oh God, I'm forgetting. We had around 16 awards. So sisi hatusomi tu, tunasoma alafu pia tuna act na tunapita zote. Kawaita graduation yangu.
Can you clap for her? Yeah, that's our drama. We are so happy for them. They have won so many accolades and they have also put Lukenya them on the map. So we are calling for the dancers. Now dancers, your turn. After the dancers, please, the modelers, you be next. And then after the modeling, now we can officially open the function whereby we'll play the national anthem, the East African anthem, and then we'll have an opening prayer from Dr. Mulinge John. So hurry up. Dancers, your turn.
Let's try to hurry up because time is not on our side, because the students want to get really what brought them here. And they look so nice. The schools are taken care. Your school looks like they're taking good care of you. Congratulations, teachers. You're taking good care of your students. They look so bright. Our modelers, so these are Miss Lukenya. Where is Mr. Lukenya? Is there also? And Mr. Lukenya. So they are going to show us. And I hope we're going to recruit the next Miss Lukenya when we're going to have the 2027 beauty pageant. Of course, we're also going to have the one on Saturday, but unlikely is that you might not be here to witness the event on Saturday evening. So they are catwalking. They call them model class. Yeah, so the first one, we had a prom event over the weekend, and the winner number one was the prom queen. Prom queen, wow! Can you? Wow, the prom queen, wow! And then we have the prom king. Yes, can you arrange yourself in that order? And then Mr. Valentine is also the third one. Then Miss Fresher. Yeah, we have freshers, so when you join us, you'll be a fresher, and then you'll be having a freshers night. Then we're also going to have the catwalking, and then you will showcase how your skills. Come on, yeah, the prom queen. Where are you? Wow, good. Wow. Are you singing? You can stand up. And let's clap for her. Wow. That's the prom queen. Can we clap for her? Can we just clap for her? Wow. Good. Perfect. Can we clap for her?
Let's clap for her. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow. And she's very beautiful. Is she not beautiful? Can we clap for the beauty? Let's clap. Wow, that's our pro queen. Yes. Wow. So next we're having the pro king. I do one of the handsome. You say, Amani handsome, not beautiful, right? Ndio anakasema. Haya, wow. Na Maringo, na Mbwembwe. Haya, you can stand. That's our pro queen. Then having Mr. Valentino. Mr. Valentine, can you clap for him as you walk? Yes, that's Mr. Valentine. You know, we had Valentine 2 days ago. He didn't give you our friend now. Yeah, so that's our Mr. Valentine. Yeah, like that. Yes. Can you have it? Good. Perfect. Let them come on up. Guys, are you happy? Are the guys happy? Guys, are you happy? Guys, are you happy? Guys, are you happy? Can you clap for him? Special. Where are you? Miss Special. Now you're well, very tall, very elegant. Oh wow. Can you clap? Can the men clap? Can the men clap? Wow. You can see how beautiful she is. Wow, that smile is killing it, right? Are you happy? Can you clap for her? Wow. Nice and very tall. Next is the Mr. Popularity. Kitui County. That's happy. Where are you Kitui? What are you happy? What are you happy? When I'm shout. Wow. You're a pastor. You're the popularity. Are you happy? Wow. Can you clap for him? Then Mr. Face, Lukenya University 2024-2023. Where's your photo? Are you the next? Can you clap for him? Mr. Face. Mr. Handsome. In other words, Mr. Handsome University. Wow. Nice. Yes, Amazing. Can you clap for him? I am there. Thank you so much. Valentine. Wow. I'm a little bigger. I'm a little so what do you want Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Anyone wants to say a word? Kawira? Hakuna model. Model basi nikuone. Haya. Huyo Kawira, usio mwangaza. Huyu ni kawaida wa Kenya. Kawaida wa Kenya ndio ndio. Haya, kuja basi. Haya, waonyeshe. Hapo hiyo hapo umeweza. Karibu hapo hapo ni makofi. Hiyo ni katuti lakini hapo ni makofi. Thank you, Kamila. We are so happy. Thank you so much. Now you guys can sit down. Thank you. We are so grateful. Any other family? Oh, how you live the stage? Good. They have their miracle. Can you clap for them? Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because of time, we're not going to have any other function, any other entertainment. Because of time, because we are approaching midday. So I want to request that we stand up, and then we can. Oh, there's one. Kindly, he's asking for only 2 minutes. Please, members of the audience, kindly 2 minutes. Come. Yeah. That is the most creative gentleman in this compound. The most creative person in this compound. Can you clap for it?
Mic check. If you're happy, clap once. If you're happy, clap twice. And if you're happy, clap twice. I have a very good piece, especially in Megundua, in a gathering where we have our elders, our younger kids, brothers, sisters. We have to talk about something uplifting, right? Give me a minute and set my stuff. Just 2 seconds. DJ, you can go Makideo. DJ.
Enjoy life to the fullest, no regrets. I don't want no stress. That's happiness. Enjoy life to the fullest, no regrets. Forever, I wanna be forever. Ile maisha ya kutana, napokia kutu kipatana. Nasikia fiti.
Are we ready? So in my father's house, there are many mansions. There is a dwelling place for the 24 elders. There is a courtyard for the angels. There are rooms for the saints that agree to answer the call to the glory, and there is a throne for the Father. But somehow, there is a concern. And that is the fact that the Father is not just satisfied with his throne. He says he wants to dwell in your heart. And this makes me wonder, if God molded man from dust and now he chooses to dwell in us, does that mean that God finds his mud houses over mansions in heaven? I mean, maybe he does. Yes. So I would join the angels to ask, what is man that you're so mindful of? What is man that you not mind being a fool for? Make it make sense. Please make it make sense. That the Almighty God will not be scared of his angel side talk when they see him running, chasing, wanting to make this relationship work at all cost, even if his dignity is on the line. Even if loving you is a crime, he still offered himself up for an arrest. Make it make sense. That the one who is called the word would choose to go back on his word just to have a word with him. I mean, how the same person who says, what shall it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul, still lose his soul to gain the whole world, still lose his soul to gain you mean the whole world to him. Make it make sense. You see, I like to call God the greatest physician. No, not just because he heals our physical bodies, but because he doesn't leave silent treatments. You see, the Father says, come. To you who doesn't feel like it, he says, come. To you who is down and broken, he says, come. You see, boys like us sometimes find it hard to reach to God. Boys like us, on some days, just want to be on top of anything that is beneath the skies, but on those days, he still says, come. So permit me to sound this alarm in logic and let this news reach from one end of the earth to the other, that there is no veil and there is no limitation. Because if God calls us his bride and he is the groom, then it means we are husbands and wives. And now you can come boldly into the throne room, tell them it's a marital affair. Tell them that it is a marital affair. Tell them that there is no limitation. Tell them that there are no longer veils. Because if and when he wanted to see his bride, he had to tear the veil. You see, I'm still plastered over John the Baptist. And in this relationship, even death could not do us part. You know why? Because he first died to reconcile us back to himself. And even when we were dead in sins, he still raised us up to be seated in heavenly places. So there is no condemnation to those who in Christ Jesus. Tell your neighbor it's a marital affair. Come on, sound it out loud. It's a marital affair. Of course, it should be a marital affair. It is a marital affair. And unlike what happened to the law, we no longer need a master's class to fit in the master's class. The Father's given us a free pass through Jesus. So come boldly, he says. Come boldly, he says. And maybe you think I'm saying this because I'm perfect. Let me tell you my salvation story. Story. Once upon a time in my lifetime, this is my salvation story. You see, I never bragged to be the perfect picture, but Christ, you saved me into his gallery. See, when I got in there, trust me, I searched for a place called the trash because I thought that is where I should belong. But removing the spots and the wrinkles, he filtered me to his looks, and he told me, Joseph, when they ask you what to bring to the table, tell them the blood. Come on, tell them the blood. Tell them the blood. You see, when I look through scriptures, I discover that Jesus performed a whole lot of miracles. Aside from delivering himself from being mad in love with me. To me, it feels like God is wearing a t-shirt in heaven. Yeah, and man is one of the buttons on it. When you go out from service and you meet a seemingly bad boy, tell him that the only prison that Jesus put bad boys in is called the red blood cells. Okay. Yes. I mean, that place, the blood washes you as white as snow. The blood brings you in. The blood makes you his blood. Jesus can relate. For we do not have a high priest who has not been touched. Yes. The chief cornerstone does not cast the first stone. He rather uses it. He rather uses it to build it. So tell the woman who is caught in adultery, he didn't cast the first stone. So no one has the right. Because you are the son. I am the son. We are the sons. We are risen with him. We are a son. We are risen with him. I am a son. Say it loud, and the next time you do not feel like it, tell yourself that the very reason why his breath still runs in you is just so that there would be enough air, time to talk. So go ahead. Say hi. The Father is waiting for you to enjoy the point. Thank you.
the most creative student that we have in the country. Great job for this. Thank you so much. And then now we can start our program. And I'm requesting that we stand up. And then we can have the national anthem and we start. After that, we take the prayer from Dr. John. Yes. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you this morning because of your protection. Father, we thank you for each person here today. We pray, Lord of mercy, continue to bless them, continue to bless the day and the whole activities. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you so much. You can now be seated. To hurry up as we wait for the DC to come, I'm requesting Dr. Raphael Otako, where are you, sir? Yeah, come and give our students. He is the university counselor. He counsels our students, so we feel that he can start off. And then next, the LOSA CS Academics. Today is an academic day, and we want you to tell these students from the high school where you are and how you scored very highly and what made you score that highly. So you are going to tell them, don't tell us about the grades, but you tell them about how you studied and now here you are. Yeah. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Madam DBC and academic and student affairs, fellow teachers, members of the faculty, visiting teachers, students, and all other members present. Good morning. Today, I will not give a speech. I'm going to give real life examples. And I'll permit you to make a request. Nitawaomba tusimame. Sisi sote. Then I will request you to bend like this. To your left. Left. Say academic angle of inclination. Say it again. Academic angle of inclination. Thank you so much. Have a seat. During the time I was in Sarajevo, that was the clavion call to a village boy that went to Sarajevo barefoot. The first thing that Dr. Griffin made me to realize was that there is value in carrying a textbook. Griffin made me realize there is a lot of information that is hidden in textbooks. And he
insisted on anytime he meets you, my boy, what are you carrying? That is what shaped the person that is before you today. And just to beat a little of my drum, I'm a physics lecturer here. And some of the students that you will see who will speak to you today, those ones who are dressed very nicely, they are physics students. The transformation that has happened in them, I am expecting serious things when they leave this university. They'll contribute positively to this country. Now, let me tell you today, I want to narrow to high school reading because the comrades, we tell them that. So when you come here, the time you're going to graduate from secondary school, expect that the concept of academic angle of inclination will permeate every conversation. And that's why today we are having a Kasanga Mulwa Memorial Library Day. The most important thing in that statement is library. And I was asked, when I'm making my presentation, I keep drawing you to the thing that you are closer to. And the only thing that I can remember is the library at Starehe Boys Center. That library is run by students. The most important person you meet when you get into that library is a student of Starehe Boys. And it is a student who performs. So the time you are going there for this student to serve you, you know you are being served by the best. And when you go to request for a book, you will find this librarian seated reading a book. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot replace reading books with ChatGPT. We cannot. If you don't read a book when your teacher has given you content in class, if you don't go and find out from a textbook what another author, another mind speaks of the same topic, you are a liability to this country. Let's talk the truth. You are a liability. And the vision that we have for this country of being industrialized by the year 2030, you are drawing us back. Anytime your teacher teaches you and you don't carry that information, go to the library to find out what other authors, other people have spoken about that topic. You are drawing us back. Ladies and gentlemen, let us love books to the extent that our body will be so used to carrying books. And when we walk, we will have that academic angle of inclination. We will continue this conversation next week, tomorrow, and the days that come. Thank you, and I welcome you. When you come, when you organize, prepare yourselves to come to the university. Please consider taking physics. Consider taking physics, and let me tell you why I'm telling you to take physics. Very close to this university called Lukenya in Kilifi, we are about to put up a mega project on nuclear energy. That facility will require young men and women like you who understand the concept about nuclear energy. You can choose to let those jobs go to other students in other universities or other regions in this country, and then you say you cry you're jobless. Please don't do that. Take physics, and when these gentlemen come here to speak to you, I pray they will tell you that they are taking physics so that you see how physicists, we are not called physicians, we are called physicists. Thank you so much.
They're called physicists. Are they called, by the way? Are they called? Are they called? Hello. Are they called? Good. Are you called, guys? Yeah, got it right. So I'm disappointed. We are having an alumni of Istare Boys talking to us, and the students here whom are our guests. You see, you are seated in a podium. We have not told you to sit under the trees. There's a reason, because this is your day, and you're not making notes. That is so surprising. So surprising. Yes, the CS, CS Academics. Can you clap for him as he comes? Yes.
All protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon, students. Are you happy to be here? I welcome you to Lukenya University, where the intellectual heartbeat of university is found in terms of reading. I would like to take this opportunity just to give you a little knowledge on how to go through your studies. I need to see everyone with a pen and a book. Number one, for you to be successful in life, you must be disciplined. Disciplined. Tips to be successful in life. Disciplined. Does anybody amongst ourselves knows what discipline means? What is discipline? To be obedient. What is discipline? Doing the right thing. What is discipline? All are right with different approaches. Discipline is what you can do when nobody else is watching you and it is right. Whenever you are in schools, whenever you are in classes, what you can do without the teacher doing supervision of you, you are disciplined. It all starts from what you eat, from what you talk, from what you do. And this brings a mindset which is positive. Whenever you are disciplined, you must have a mindset which is positive. Do you have my positive mindset? Do you know you'll be successful in life? Then secondly, you must be time conscious. In each and every institution, we all of us have timetables. We all have specific times to do specific things. But time conscious comes when you create your own time, do your personal study, and do research on your own. Everybody should be capable of being time conscious. Thirdly and lastly, you must be consistent. Be consistent in whatever you are doing. Be consistent in whatever you want to follow up. Once you be consistent, you are disciplined, you are time conscious, everything will be right from all of your sides. Then lastly, let me finish with this. I'm a physics student, equally serving also as the president of physics association in the university. I all welcome you to this university, not only to pursue physics, but also to pursue art courses. But any student who also pursue any subject or course is allowed to be a member of physics association. So for you to be here, maintain discipline, be time conscious, be consistent, and welcome, we will enjoy. Thank you so much.
Let's start from you. Yeah, thank you for being very brief. Yeah, we're also looking for credit. So now we start rolling. Our guest is here, and our lecturers are seated among us. I don't know if the student president is there. If in a meeting. Okay. So I now welcome our DVC to welcome the guests. Then the teachers, then they can speak one thing as possible, and then we roll.
Hello. How are you? Our main guest. When we call no. Our main guest. Thank you. Our keynote speaker, Prof. Faculty, students, our visiting teachers. Good afternoon again. You've seen this year's theme, reigniting a culture of reading, and not just reading, sustainable reading. How many of us have read a book since the beginning of the year? By a show of hands. Even if it's a storybook, a novel, a scientific book, how many of us have read a book? How many of us have read a book? How many? How many? You read your state books. That's a book. You're not reading your state books? Okay, how many have read a book since the beginning of the year? But you see how hesitant we were. Thank you. You see how hesitant we were to raise up your hand. Because we were not sure, is it a book? Is it just a magazine? What is it? But we want to have a culture of sustainable reading. You'll find some people have a schedule for reading. In the coming 2 weeks, I have to complete book A. After that, I have to complete another book. After that, in a month, I'm targeting to complete 4 books. That's someone who has created their own schedule of reading. For the lecturers and researchers, I expect us to be reading more often as well, because as you're preparing yourself to deliver your lectures, you need to update yourself with the current affairs, the current trends, the emerging issues in your area of study. And we are privileged to have you here, the students, the high school students, the university students as well. And you've seen what they are doing, the drama club. That doesn't come from nowhere. You have to read and read and read.
Now start doing the script, rehearse and rehearse and rehearse for it to be as good as it was when they were performing, right? So by the time you're leaving here today, what will be your goal for the year in terms of reading? And a lot of information is hidden in books. A lot of wealth is in the books. Sometimes you read a book and you say, this person, this content, they're like speaking to me. And you're asking yourself, if I had found this earlier, I would have made better decisions. If I had this before I encountered this, I would have made a better judgment. So by the end of the day, for university students and staff, let's have a goal. How are we going to develop a reading culture? And not just a reading culture, but a sustainable reading culture. So the Vice Chancellor is held up in a meeting, but she will be joining us soon and the rest of the management members. So, but they are in support. The Board of Trustees, the council members also send their regards and they are supporting this week's events. So on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, I declare this library week officially open. Therefore now, I will request a representation from the schools, the secondary schools, to give a word and expectation to their students. After, there will be a dedicated program for the high school students where they get a more personalized talk. I request one of the school representatives, the teachers, or the students themselves to come and give a brief word before we hear from the keynote speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Jove from Lukenya Community School, and I'm so glad me with my students to be here. I think I love what I'm hearing. I'm so passionate about for me. I think the afternoon will crown it all. So students, this is an opportunity. It is not a privilege. So how I wish you scoped more than me. Thank you.
Let me also take this opportunity on behalf of Darajani Boys High School. I'm Mr. Mukunzu, also a physics teacher. This physics, Darajani Boys. One thing I want to say, I've always told our boys in school, is about reading. It'll bear me witness that even you want to make a conversation, you must be well in reading. In the library, we have books. Doesn't matter what kind of book it is, so long as you can be able to read and you can be able to use the same language to communicate. And I think that's been a challenge to most of students in the country. I'm also an examiner with the Kenya National Examination Council, so I mark mathematics. But one thing that I've observed in the years I've marked, basic instruction, that paper. Instruction number 15, use language, English language. But you find that in some of those writings, you find students are not using English language. They're using a language that you may not be able to understand. So for marking, that is as That kind of marking, we treat it as a special case done by special examiners trained on the same, so that this student, because whatever language the student is communicating, and we cannot blame the student at that level. So we are very grateful, Lukenya University fraternity, for giving us the opportunity even to bring our boys to this side, so that we can be able to encourage them, motivate them on what we shall do at the school level. And we wish a majority of them will be encouraged even because we have our Form 3. These are our Form 4 class. The candidate class are waiting to write the KCSE this year, and that's a good encouragement so that they may wish to join you next year, batch 1. Thank you for that.
Thank you. We have another. And just to let you know, our keynote speaker is a professor of history, and next to him is also another professor of history. So if you're interested to learn more about history, we have the professors here and other lecturers as well that I. Just a brief of, we have 4 schools in Lukenya University. We have School of Education and Social Sciences, offering all offering Bachelor of Education Science, Bachelor of Education Arts, and Bachelor of Arts in Community Development. We have School of Agriculture, Technical Studies and Natural Sciences, with a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, Bachelor of Science in Ecology and Environment, Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, and Master's and of the same disciplines. We also have certificates and diplomas in agriculture and wildlife management, right? We have School of Business and Economics, where you'll find BCom and Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. People, the current generations are so IT savvy nowadays for program. We have West School, which is School of Health Sciences. You'll find the diploma in and Bachelor of Science and soon we are going to advance to Bachelor of. So your people don't as you're writing your thesis this year, and tell your friends, tell your former colleagues, tell your captains, my check. So you're welcome to Lukenya University. You see the environment, how it looks nice. We've come to your school, right? Darajani. We've come to plant trees. We are championing greening the environment and reducing the effects of climate change in the life, in this life that we are living, so that the future generations that are to come, they find a better planet. So I invite you, after keynote speaker, you visit the display there by publishers and others. They are displaying some materials. If you're interested, you can look at. And at the library, the Lukenya University Library, we also offer lending services. So your teachers can engage us on how they can acquire materials from the university. And without much ado, I welcome Professor Baberi to come and give us his keynote speech.
Good afternoon. Good morning. Good afternoon. Now it's almost lunchtime, and I don't want to keep you here beyond lunchtime. And yet I prepared a lecture that will have taken 1 hour and 20 minutes. And I was supposed to have used PowerPoint. So I'll have to change so many things. And also, I didn't expect the audience to be dominated by high school students. So my lecture was based on the university staff and students. So I'm going to make sure that and then at the end of it all, I'm going to give you questions and answers, and I have gifts that I'm going to give you. Okay, I'm DVC, Academic Affairs, Director, Graduate School, and all staff. I'm happy to be back here. It's not my first time to be here. I was a lecturer here on part-time basis in the year 2022. And I'm very happy to be back. I used to be so scared of snakes. So I was saying that if I get one, I will never come back again. But what brought me back here, after I got a call from the chief librarian, I think, I thought about coming here. The distance from Nakuru to this place is too long. And even from Titwande is an arduous journey. But what brought me here is one thing that this university took a courage to do, to invite Malema here on this campus. There's no university in this country that could have had a courage of doing so. And you know the consequences of having done so is that there was a lot of knowledge dissemination around this area, condemnation, and many other things. But I want to thank you so much, Ms. DVC. Please take it to the Vice Chancellor and tell him that the reason why I came here is because you had the courage, and you have the courage of bringing such a person here and also establishing one of the most unique institutions, Pan-Africanism. I wanted to do it somewhere else, but it was difficult. But I want to thank Lukenya University for having done that. So today we are standing outside this library, or seated here, for some reason. You know, university is supposed to be not to manufacture nails or coffins or chairs. What we do here, we manufacture knowledge and disseminate it. So university is a place of knowledge, and is a place, for those ones who do not know, a place of free thinking. That is why when I say something here, by the way, I will not be held accountable. And I'm going to do so because I have the academic freedom. Academic freedom are found in the universities. It can only be based and given to teaching staff and the students only, nobody else. That is why in the university we are allowed to talk freely. So this is a place of knowledge production through lectures. We are given lectures. We read in the library. That's why there is no university that does not have a library. And after reading in the library, we also interact in our daily lives through applying the knowledge that we have read. And therefore, that is how our student life is within campuses. So university is a place of knowledge, nothing else. And that knowledge we learn it through our lectures and through reading through the library. In 2014, I started a common caucus on human rights at Laikipia University. I took about 14 lecturers to go and train them in Cape Town on how to teach human rights from all the disciplines. And one of the things that we are teaching the students is how to go on strike without necessarily doing terrible things that have been happening in this country. So we taught them how to picket because it was in the constitution. And what we did, we told them when you are picketing in the university, make sure there are two things that you should never touch: lecturers and library. So you can burn the kitchen or do whatever, to demolish it or whatever, but never touch the library or the lecturers, because that's where the source of knowledge is. Please don't think, I'm not telling you to go and do so, but there's somebody who said that he wished that a library will be a kind of heaven. You know, where you go to heaven, there's still library, you go and pick a book, read it, finish, and then take another one, and so on, and you feel so happy. Another one said that if I had money, I'll buy books. If any is left, I'll buy food and clothes. Showing the prominence of a library and significance of a library in our daily life. In 2017, I went to the University of New South Wales in Australia to teach. I was given second-year students to teach. There were 23 students. So I gave them, as usual, like what I do in Lukenya University, I give them a course outline so that they can go and look at it. Then we meet after 1 week. So I gave them a course outline. And then the day we were meeting on Monday, I got a shock of my life. The books that I had listed out at the end of my course outline, all the students had bought them. Every student had bought the books. I was so shocked. They had gone through the course outline and they had understood everything that I'm supposed to teach for the whole semester. They had outlined and they had known the knowledge trajectories that I was thinking about, that I had outlined in the course outline. I was shocked. I thought that I would relax, I'll be going to Sydney City, go to museums and so on. I spent time reading so that I could match these students. But what came to my mind, if these students can come for an interview with our students that we teach in Kenya, what will happen? So you can actually see, it is not about what you are being taught, but how you discipline yourself, guiding yourself, staying in the library, reading, and making sure that you have approved or disapproved what the knowledge that has been given to you by lecturers. One of my lecturers who taught me at master's level in Elkana University was known as Dr. Mosonika Rapkorir. He is dead. While we were trying to study and learn about our area of interest, he told me, have you ever read this book? I told him no. The book is found in the University of Dar es Salaam, and I want you to go there and read it and come back. One book. I had to pay money to get a bus to go to the University of Dar es Salaam, spend 3 days before I got the book. Then I got the book, I read, and I had to come back, explain to him what was in the book. I wonder if our students can be motivated to do such a thing. Some of the mistakes that we do in our daily living is because of not reading. Not long ago, there were 2 convicts in this country. One of them were very high-level convicts who had been charged with some very big political mistakes. One of them was the current president, and another one was the former president, Uhuru and Ruto. They appeared several times at The Hague. But in one way or the other, they made it possible to make sure that there is no evidence. So they won a case. So the day they won the case, I was in Nakuru. I had gone to buy a book in a second-hand shop where they sell second-hand books. The man has placed them in an outside place, so many of them on just like 3-4 meters high. So that day when it was announced that Ruto and Uhuru had been left free, I have never seen the kind of joy I saw in Nakuru. Motorbike riders were riding everywhere. I have never seen anything like that. So scary. So they came, this man who is selling to me a book, I was almost paying, he's packing the books and panicking and so on. I told him, don't, please. They will not come here. They will go and they will steal phones, nyama, biscuits, clothes. They can never. Just go home, relax. You'll find your book here, safe. And he actually did. Nobody. If there was a riot myself, if I love a book, actually I would pick a book. But how many of us will pick a book and leave a phone? Now, Pan-Africanism is an intellectual movement that is as a consequence of thorough reading and through a thorough knowledge process. It is not. The people who founded this intellectual movement were not people who have not gone through thorough education system. None of them. I had prepared a slide here so that I could show you how who is who, because I know most of you don't know who Kenyatta was. So I had a picture of Kenyatta here, Kwame Nkrumah, and others. Unfortunately, maybe I'll get another day to be able to show you. There is a man called Copernicus. Copernicus was one of those people who was one of the key figures of enlightenment. And when he wrote his thesis on heavenly bodies, orbits of heavenly bodies, he made a very major discovery of his lifetime in his thesis. And in astronomy, up to today, he's actually the founder of astronomy. He got sick because of and at one point he was admitted in hospital, but he carried his book to hospital. The nurses observed him very carefully because everywhere he was going, he will go with a book. When they give him some few minutes, he will read, he will continue reading, and so on. But his health continued to deteriorate to the level where he went on a coma, but he put his book under the pillow. And he went for a coma for about 6 months. But one nurse was very keen when she was observing the man. At one point, he woke up, took his feet under the pillow, looked at it, and died. When I read about that story, it came to my mind about the kind of conviction and the kind of concentration the connection that we can have between us and our book and what we do. Universities are meant for production of knowledge. In other words, we expect knowledge production to be produced in this university. And we expect that lecturers from this university will deposit their books here. We expect that students from this university will deposit their books and their stories here after some time. It's telling me not to move when I'm using this mic, so I'm also learning how to use it. So I've just shown the significance of reading and the importance of reading. You can actually see the cost of not reading. And so what we are experiencing now is as a result of half-baked reading or not reading at all. You are suffering because you have appointed a member of parliament who has never gone to school because he has money. That's why you are suffering. You are doing the same because you have appointed an MCA because he makes you laugh. You are suffering because you are picking handouts from your presidential candidate, and that is why you are suffering even now. You are suffering because of your own actions. You are educated, but you want somebody to make you laugh. We choose wrong people. Don't expect miracles to happen by choosing wrong people. Garbage in, garbage out. That is how it goes. One of the things that we are trying to do I'm sorry, I'm actually discovering that I'm speaking to another category of people, and yet there are students here. But I was saying that the reason why we are teaching you history of Pan-Africanism, vijana, mnajua Pan-Africanism? So that mujue historia, okay? When you know history has a very strong force to give you a self-esteem. The moment you know, even the way you walk, people will tell that this person knows. But when you step into a boardroom where people are interviewing, they will know that this person has never seen. He's not knowledgeable. But knowledge gives you power. It makes you get out of a yoke of ignorance, and it frees you. That is why people who are educated, who have read, they don't mind even dying for a cause. I will make a quick reference to what I had prepared, and I was saying that Pan-Africanism is about connections. That's why when we had our forefathers, Kwame Nkrumah, build a very large university extending for over 15 kilometers. You call it a Pan-African University so that all African students can come and study in Ghana. He did it because he was a Pan-African. He never thought about Ghana. I went to that university, I've seen it. We walk around the Cape Coast, the big beach. You walk 5 kilometers, Faculty of Engineering, 5 kilometers, Faculty of Arts, 5 kilometers, Faculty of Law, and so on and so forth. It's a marvelous university. He was doing connections because he knew what we were serving is our African brothers and the black race. Ugandan gave us teachers. Some of us keep on forgetting. By the way, Kenya would never have been Kenya without Uganda. And we have forgotten. Uganda gave us teachers. Nobody talks about it. Our first secondary school teachers came from Uganda. Our first lawyers were given to us by Kwame Nkrumah. That's why we had even up to recently Kiwumu. And people thought that he was a Kalenjin or something like that. He was a Ghanaian, just as a Kiwumu. So Ghanaian judges, magistrates were dotted all over this country because Kwame Nkrumah donated them. He was not a Kenyan. When I went to Ghana in 2017, I went through the checkpoints where through the passport control. And I was shocked to see that people from all other countries, they have a place to go through. West Africans, one place to go through. And Ghanaians, one place to go through. And Kenyans, one place to go through. I was so shocked. I happily walked through the Kenyan door. Only country in the world that had an entrance point in Ghana. I don't know whether it still exists. That's what we call connections. Haile Selassie When they were in London with Kenyatta, Kenyatta was so poor that Haile Selassie is the one who gave him money, pocket money to survive. He followed him. Haile Selassie, independence, they actually they were never colonized as such. But of course, they got independence earlier than Kenya. But Haile Selassie himself will hide and come to Nyeri to look for Malenge. And that is why Mau Mau was trained by Ethiopians, if some of you don't know. That's why they have Rastas. Do you think that that is Kikuyu culture? It has nothing to do with Kikuyu. It is because this culture was given to us through the Rastafarian religion, through the honor of that religion or the person who invented it. That was Haile Selassie. Yet, this man who was so important and so powerful, when there was a military coup, his body was taken by this Haile Mariam Mengistu. He killed this very great man, shredded his body, kama venye unafanya kwa samosa, and he buried his remains underneath his seat where he was seated, so that he actually made sure the man is totally dead and he is beneath him. It is when he was overthrown that people knew that Haile Selassie had been killed and buried in the palace of Mengistu and Mariam. But this is the man that played a very significant role in Kenya's independence. So it's about belonging. And I'm going to finish because I don't want to take long. The rest of the things I'll ask you so that I can summarize my teaching. So belonging, being Pan-African means that we belong. But I might ask this to all of you. What citizenship do you belong to? Do you call yourself an African? How many people call themselves Africans here? Just be. Do you use it here? Yeah, you don't. Okay. How many people say they are Kenyans? And you use it daily that I'm a Kenyan? I believe nobody. How many people say that they are Christians here? And you say it every day. That is your citizenship. How many people say they are Muslims? You say, okay, there is a fundamental problem in that, and I will explain. How many people say that you are a Kamba? Sorry, a Catholic. First, Catholic. Who identifies himself anatembea anasema mimi ni Catholic? Hakuna. Then who identifies anatembea kila mahali anasema mimi ni Mkamba? All of you. Si ndio? Mnajitapa kwamba nyinyi ni Wakamba. Okay? How many people identify themselves on the citizenship of being a student? Hapa nani anafanya hivyo? Okay? Or comrades. How about those who identify themselves as Lukenyans? If there is such a thing. Because that could be a very good identity. Walimu pamoja na wanafunzi wote mnasema ni Lukenyans. But you know, there are many reasons which I don't want to talk why you cannot say I'm a Lukenyan or I'm a Laikipian and so on. So which of these categories identify yourself with? But Pan-Africanism, you need to understand the history of Pan-Africanism so that you can apply it, because Pan-Africanism has no present significance or application at all if we don't talk about it in regards to reading and reading culture and intellectual notions of Pan-Africanism. And that is why we are here, all of us. And it is about shared common bonds and objectives. People share things, and it began in a long time ago I'm just going to move very fast, the British and the Portuguese, by the way, the countries that were so notorious taking our people
into slavery. They are the poorest countries on earth today. Portugal and Spain. Portugal took, and Spain, two countries, they took 11 million people from Africa. By 16th century, where were those people from? Come in Kenya by 1920, there were only about 1.5 million people in Kenya. Walitoa wapi hawa watu? 16 million, 11 million people. They literally took everybody to the US, the Caribbean, and so and many other places. And we have forgotten, we are not reminding them that they disorganized our country. They were coming to give us spices in exchange of our people. They were coming giving West African sweets, chips. They were giving them sweets, and then West Africans will be so excited, and they're giving them. It's not a joke. Trading them with ivory. This area here, Chief Kivoi used to loiter around here, around your campus here, and going around that place, selling ivory to Arabs. And then all of them will end up at the east coast of Africa. They will be taken to either Spain or Portugal. By the way, the Portuguese arrived in Kenya here before the Kikuyu arrived here. So if they decided to stay here, there will be nothing like that. We brag that we are the first people to arrive here. It will be like South Africa, because the Zulu arrived the Dutch arrived in South Africa before the Zulu. So hii mambo mnasema kwamba we are the first people to live here and so on is all nonsense. Britain and France followed Portugal. By the way, I was telling you Portugal and France. Portugal now, they have relocated in Mozambique. You go there, they have bought land there and so on. This country called, it is the only African country, the country where Savimbi was. Which country? No, that's Namibia. Not the other one, the Lusophone. Angola is the only African country that gives aid to an European country. It's the one that is sustaining Portugal and Spain right now. Angola. So you can actually see what they did. 12 million people had been exported. Colonialism followed. There was scramble for Africa. So many people, European powers took every stake. With a lot of greed, you can actually see that Gambia is a town inside Senegal. You have to go through Senegal to go to Gambia. Can you imagine? Gambia was British and Senegal was French. So you can imagine that kind of arrangement and greed. But one thing they did after capturing our land, they despised us. They called us that Africa was a dark continent. Darkness. Trevor Roper, you remember, perhaps in the future there will be African history to teach. But now it's darkness, and darkness is not a subject of history. Africa was depicted as a very isolated continent, strange, unexplored, virgin. So they despised us. Roland called it virgin, hostile, and impenetrable. That is a very bad place. I was talking about the man-eaters of Savo, and I was telling someone here that those man-eaters of Savo, they used to come up to the campus down here, zinatembea mpaka huko chini, and they used to discriminate when the railway builders were constructing the railway. The man-eaters of Savo, they were two most notorious lions. They would go direct and eat Indians and Europeans only. And I was saying that they were exercising Pan-Africanism because they helped Africans in their struggle. Those lions were shot dead by the British and taken to England, and then there are two of them are in Columbia, University of Columbia. The Kenyan government is making efforts to bring them back. The same way Koitalel Arap Samoi's head is in Pitt Rivers Museum in Oxford University. I've seen it myself. But when you go to Nandi,
the Kalenjins there are saying that we buried him here. That's the kind of despise that was given to us. We are called the heart of darkness. That in Africa there are pygmies, beasts, plagues, diseases, cannibals, as we used to, that we eat people. The only people who used to eat is the Tiriki. The Tiriki used to eat Nandis in the pre-colonial period. And then it is the Dutch who came from South Africa who stopped them. Because the reason why the Tiriki were eating Nandis is because Nandis pushed them from Eldoret through Kapsabet. And then Wakaachia, a place called, there's a university there, Kaimosi, yes, friends, yeah. The Luyas are, today the Nandis fear Tirikis so much. They don't even want to meet them. But we know that there was a metaphysical problem, an interpretation of that. It's not true that actually they were eating them, but they used that analogy to scare the Nandis so that the Nandis don't continue harassing them. So we were called that continent. I have had the PowerPoint here, I should have shown you. And we were given a lot of stereotypes. They said Kalenjin women are very, they can make good prostitutes. They said Kikuyus love money. They say Maasais are very primitive. They can make good soldiers. They said that we have degraded moral savages. They say that our sexuality was exotic, mysterious, uncivilized, and so on and so forth. So that there was a need to tame our sexuality. That they say that African women have excessive and threatening and contagious diseases, so sex life. They carry deadly diseases. That's why they used to say that magonjwa ya wanawake, meaning that that's colonial. Women are the ones who used to carry out of diseases, syphilis and gonorrhea. And one person said that with the Negro, that's with the African, everything takes place at the genital level. Can you imagine? Here, that we cannot think, but we think with our sexual organs. Africans. Trump repeated it, and you are laughing. So people got annoyed. Henry Sylvester, who was some of you who have done Pan-Africanism, started saying that we must unite against these crooks, calling us all these names and so on. So they formed a sort of Pan-African conference in London. They met several times. They asked other people Africans, they called Africans to meet and so on. And Kenyatta was very notorious. He attended one. Kenyatta used to fear flying. He never used to, he used to shake when he was flying in an aeroplane. So he never wanted to go to so many meetings. That's why he used to send J.M. Kariuki to attend meetings on his behalf. And by the way, J.M. Kariuki was not rich. It's because when Kenyatta sent him to go and see Anwar Sadat gave him money and he took that money himself. And when he was sent to go and see the Israel Prime Minister, the lady, what was her name? I'm giving a present to the person who's going to help me get the name. The Prime Minister of Israel by the time Kenya got independent, 1940s, 1950s. Who was? Yes? No, I don't want it from my historian, no. She was called Golda Meir. Golda Meir gave J.M. Kariuki a lot of money to bring to Kenyatta for the development of this country. J.M. Kariuki took that money direct to Nyandaru. So J.M. Kariuki was the most corrupt person that this country has ever experienced. But we know that he was a very clean man and so on and so forth. So these all Pan-African meetings were attended and this happened. And the Malcolm X joined the meeting, Marcus Garvey, the civil rights movement, and so on. Kwame Nkrumah now spearheaded it. I told you, Kwame Nkrumah
They say that Kwame Nkrumah never died. They tried, because of this Pan-Africanism, the West wanted to kill him 11 times. At one point, he comes out from the airport. A small girl goes to receive him with a bouquet of flowers, and it explodes before Kwame Nkrumah. Then Kwame Nkrumah does not die. They say never died. But of course, Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown. He went and became a co-president to somebody who was a Pan-Africanist. Can you imagine if Museveni is overthrown and then he comes to Kenya and then Ruto tells him you'll become a co-president? Can you imagine the spirit of Pan-Africanism that was prevailing at that time? And then the Americans followed him there and killed him there. These days we normally talk about it. Then Patrick Lumumba, he was also followed because of this Pan-African movement. He's the press secretary who was the Mobutu Sese Seko, a very brilliant young person. The Belgians and Americans used him to kill Lumumba because Lumumba could not say yes to Americans. Paka wakampatia maji. What annoys me most is that last year, 2 years ago, the daughter was called to go and receive a tooth, Lumumba's tooth, in Belgium, and she went, putting on a suit. Instead of asking, who gave you this tooth? Where are other parts? Therefore, spoiling our mood on Pan-Africanism. Even the people who brought the stick of Koitalea Rapsamoy in Eldoret town hall, and the Minister for Agriculture then, who was William Ruto, went to receive the stick. Instead of asking where is the head, he received the stick and kept it. I was there, kept it at the museum, at the city hall. So today, as Pan-Africanists, we are asking about what happened. We are not interested in knowing other things. That is why we are pursuing 23 heads that were taken from Kenya. One of them includes Masaku, the one who was he was buried without a head. So 23 heads, we are looking for them. One of my PhD students is studying those things. Then we had Julius Nyerere, a very brilliant man who was very organized in his Made Ujamaa, Kenneth Kaunda, humanism. I'm showing all of them, by the way, if you had. It's important that you people know their faces, because I was so shocked my first year students this year. I was making a joke about Kwame Nkrumah and I discovered none of them knows who Kwame Nkrumah was. And they are history students wamesoma kuanzia Form 1 up to Form 4. El Selassie. Now I've told you who El Selassie was. Leopold Senghor, Senegalese president who spoke better French than the French themselves. In Senegal, there were 98% Christians, Muslims, and 2% Christians, but he won elections out of those Muslim group. Gamal Abdel Nasser, a man who was not joking. Today, people are joking in that country, but he never joked. He was a true Pan-Africanist. Today, Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt apply to be part of the European Union. Can you imagine? So, apart from those, we had, of course, we talked about Henry Sylvester, CLR, James, George Padmore, Marcus Garvey from Jamaica, and others. But the problem of Pan-Africanism has been subjugated by Africans. Look at our president. When he was so excited when he became the president, as if he was the first person to become a president. What he did, he went and asked tailors to make a suit for him so that he can look like Kaunda. Have you seen him put it on again? So we were clapping for him, saying that this is the man that you are looking for. He's becoming like what a Pan-Africanism is all about. He said all countries in Africa will not need to pay a visa to go to Kenya, and we clapped for him. Are they? Then he was championing it, saying he was anti-West.
chanting slogans in the European Union, and remember being put in a bus attending the Queen Elizabeth funeral and complaining that how can we be put in a bus as Africans? So we thought that the man was actually pursuing. Then he dropped it all. Those are the challenges of Pan-Africanism today. We are being controlled by the West, even up to now. The person who determines who to become a president in this country are the West, Britain and US. We have our own internal divisions. Our presidents are looking so ugly compared to the presidents that our forefathers. There's nothing you can learn from them. Not even a single word, a speech that you can take from them. Nothing. Very ignorant. No agenda. The crisis of leadership and governance is terrible. Education system destroyed. Agriculture destroyed. Security destroyed. And everything. And then we are disconnected from the diaspora. I don't want to, the diaspora, the Black Americans were invited by Kwame Nkrumah to go back to Ghana. By the time I went to Ghana in 2007 to 2008 in Accra, only 11,000 families had relocated. But George Padmore and Marcus Garvey, as well as W.E.B. Du Bois, were buried. I saw their graves in Ghana. They were buried. They said if they die, their bodies to be brought back to Ghana. They cannot continue to be buried in America as slaves. So their bodies were brought back to Ghana. So all that calls for what we call unity. In 5 minutes, I'll be finishing. But this is something I want to tell the youth. All of you, those ones who have come here as students, there's something that you need to know about Pan-Africanism. What are you supposed to do? Now, we must read. Pan-Africanists are not people who have not read. You must read, and when people see you, even before you talk, they know you have read. I told you that reading gives you some self-confidence. It gets you out of victimhood situation where you keep on blaming others. So read books. Ngugi wa Thiong'o. Read Chinua Achebe. Look at what they are talking about. Listen to documentaries on history and get knowledge. Watch news and know what is happening around you. That is, read. You read and watch news and make sure that you are well-rounded as a young person. Read the history of this country. The problem of that reading the history of this country is that you become very ignorant. People don't like us historians because we know so much. And history is like touching woods. When you tell people that, the first people to settle in Kenya were hunter-gatherers. They were followed by the Bantus. Then the Nilotes. So when you keep on saying that the Maasai are indigenous to this country or to Ghana indigenous people, it shows that you are very ignorant. The people who started warfare in this country were Nilotes. The Bantus were matriarchal. They were very peaceful people. When the Bantu discovered iron tools, they used those iron tools for cultivation. But when the Nilotes came and discovered those iron tools 100 years later, they used those iron tools as weapons to push the Bantu, and that became the genesis of war. Pushing kisses from Kericho through Sotik all the way where they are. Pushing the Luos, the Luos pushing the Luyas from Kisumu, pushing them to the corner, while the Nandis were doing the same. The Kamba here were pushed by the Maasai up to, from all the way Mali, all that area. The Maasai pushed them and occupied those areas towards the Kamba nation. If I continue to politics, but there are some things that are known and but not read. So if you read, you'll be able to avoid all these problems. Think globally. I was preparing it for a graduate. You young people, think globally. Nasikia.
Usianze kufikiria how you are awasaidie ama mnaenda kutafuta makabila zenu. Some people here are going, let us go and call our, and some even have an organization based on ethnicity. Hata hapa nasikia kuna Kalenjin Union, kuna Kamba Union. You are shame on you. How can you do that? You should form a history club so that if one of you dies, you go, historians go and bury this. The people will be shocked outside there when they discover that you have come to bury, historians have come to bury one of their own, not Kambas. Unasikia? So this mambo ya kukua local, thinking locally, is stupid, if I might use that word. Mnataka kutapika. Because the only thing why you think tribally, if I might use that word, is because you want to do rituals. Because what else can you do? Get your passports. I wanted to talk to this too. A student is saying that, you know, I want to, after this finishing in Lukenya, I want to go and study abroad. And I have a passport. A passport is a fundamental right. Zamani, in 1999, when I was a very young student, I got a scholarship to go to the University of London. When I went to ask for a passport, they told me to give them so many reasons why I wanted it. I kept quiet because I didn't know anything. But today, when I go there, I tell them, renew my passport. They ask you why. It is my right. Why? Where do you want to go? I will go anywhere. Okay? So, as a young person, make sure that you know what injustice is. That is to be a Pan-Africanist. If you cannot know what injustice is, if I might give you moja na kupatia hii na mwingine na mwacha na mwingine na, and you going to question me, mwalimu, mbona sisi wengine hatupati? So that if you cannot be able to tell that, then you are a pseudo student. So do you have a passport? Do you travel? You are born in Mtitoandei. You went to primary school in Mtitoandei. You went to secondary school in Mtitoandei, university in Mtitoandei, which is Lukenya. You do your master's in Lukenya. You do your PhD in Lukenya. You start teaching in Lukenya. What kind of a person are you? You are Lukenyan. Okay? So collaborate with other cultures. This is what in the university where I am, I normally take WhatsApp numbers and share them with other students in other countries, especially in African countries. What do you do here in Kenya? Do you collaborate with students at Kipia? Do you collaborate with students or play football with students at Moi University and so on? If you do that, then what you are trying to do, you are exercising Pan-Africanism. That is the spirit of Pan-Africanism. Collaborate, exchange cultures. And I want to thank the Lukenya University for nurturing young people I have seen here with this kind of talent. By the way, our young people, the moment we show them the way, they can do wonders. I have worked with them. They can do things that you can never believe. They have a lot of talent. But then it is in the university where we kill their talents completely. And it is not good to hide students in a place like Lukenya and kill their spirits, their talents, and so on. Let us discover who they are. If they are good in football, let us give them that opportunity. If they are good in hockey, let us give them the opportunity. If they are good in theater, and so on and so forth. We will have played our role, our role as a Pan-Africanist and so on. So, let us help decolonize. All these things that are standing on our way as Pan-Africanists, let us avoid them. Unfortunately, there are some kind of habits that we always do that we keep on putting us on a yoke of colonialism. A very good example, please, if I talk about, don't get annoyed, because I'm just using it as an example. It's a very hard fact about putting on a necktie. A necktie is a British culture. And the origin of that British culture, Mwalimu, I'm sorry because you have it. A necktie, by the way, is a symbol of a penis, if you have never known, because it is actually the origin of a necktie was to differentiate between inmates who are male and female. So the male one, they had to do it. By the way, if you look at it, you can actually see. I'm sorry I have told you, but it's a hard fact. So why do we keep on putting it on? I'm not saying that you stop, because myself, I find in places where I am forced to do it. When I went to South Africa, which is so decolonized so fast than any other country, after the fall of Rhodes, I was giving an inaugural lecture there. When I began talking, before I went to my day, because I was speaking to the whole university, I asked one of the directors, can I put on an necktie? He told me, never ever in this place. Not even a suit. Because those are emblems of colonial. We have not decolonized. That is physical decolonization, but we are also decolonizing our mind. The terminologies that we use in teaching and so on, the theories that we use, we borrow them and so on. Those ones who are doing master's degree and PhD, you know that. Listen to our own music, promote our culture, music, dance, athletics, and so on. That will help us, empower us as young people to decolonize. Let's move beyond hashtags. Okay? Let's master our digital ability. You people you spend almost 99.9% with your phone. Nobody doesn't have a phone here. It's a very powerful tool of mobilization. If we can use that tool to unite people, I can tell you, we can realize our goals as young Pan-Africanists in a very short time. Then raise awareness using the same tool. If that is the only tool that you have at your disposal. Expose problems. That is the role of students to expose problems, especially problems that are facing our nation. Look at the University of Nairobi acted as an opposition party for so many years when we didn't have opposition party or multi-party democracy. But where are they? Where are the staff or what we call the staff union that used to be tough in those days? I remember I brought one of those members of staff, I'll not mention his name, from South Africa, to come and do a human rights program at Lukenya University. He was about 85 years old and he had no ID card. I had to take him to the chief in his home, ask the chief to write a letter, and we got him an ID card. He died, I'm happy, because he died as a Kenyan, but he had been sent to exile in South Africa without a passport or an identification card. So let's expose, petition, organize. Let's highlight injustices. Let's organize peacefully. Let's talk among ourselves as young people. You have the powers more than anybody's power, and the numbers, and so on and so forth. Let's celebrate our heroes. Msidanganye kwamba heroes are the people who are mnaona pale somebody amekimbia, ameshinda marathon, and then you say that's a hero. He's not a hero. Because people have this country has diverted our attention to look at other people as heroes when they are not. Even rich people have now gone into the annals of heroes and so on. They are not. Our heroes are the founders of these people who fought for freedom in this country. Nothing else. Put your pictures of Kenyatta, put your pictures of Shikuku in your house. Those people, J.M. Kariuki, and all those, try to see what ideals, agenda they have. How can you emulate their agenda in trying to organize today? How do we celebrate them in our own, as opposed to the way the state does them? Then, finally, avoid politicians as much as possible, because they will mislead you. I'm happy that this university is not founded upon that. And most universities are run by politicians, and they have messed them up. Not only politicians, but those ones, those who have subscribed to their progress through so many opposition politicians have academic qualifications that we have been working so hard to earn for years, working so hard, but they get them within a very short time. So let's avoid them as much as possible. Then I come now to my last part, to the Form 4. Are you Form 1, 2, 3, 4? Form 4. So where are my kids? Now please just help me. So who was the first president of Kenya? Yes, please. Yes. Yes. Stand up and say it loudly. Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, please, Arula. Who was the first vice president of Kenya? Yeah, okay, please, Mwalimu, help me. Yes, first vice president of Kenya. Was it Jaramogi Oginga Odinga? Yes, give him. There's something I want to say there, but it's okay. I'm a father. When did Kenyatta become ill of a stroke? Which year? Which year did Kenyatta fall sick? Akapata stroke. Yes? I'm giving 2 rulers and I'm sweet for that. Yes, please. Stand up. Sema na nguvu. 1978. That's when he died. Yes? No, yes, please. 1970, no. Okay, I'll give you an answer. It was 1968. And when Kenyatta got a stroke, by the way, the Kenyans began preparing for his death. And the Prime Minister of Britain had just died 2 years ago, Winston Churchill. So the British ambassador to Kenya, British High Commissioner to Kenya, was approached by Kiredi, who was a PS in Kenyatta's office. Said that this man amepata shock. Akikufa tutafanya nini? Then they said, don't worry, we are going to show you. The other day, we had our Prime Minister, Churchill, died. So they had to wait they prepared Kenyatta's funeral for 10 years, 1968 until he died. And if you look at Kenyatta's funeral, his carriage that was used in his funeral was brought from. It is the same one that Churchill used. Okay? The same speech that was read, it was just edited on a Churchill on Kenyatta. If you look at it, it looks funny. The mortician who was an emblem, the one who was preparing the body of Winston Churchill, is the one who was flown to Nairobi to do the same. And by the way, Kenyatta was to be buried in Gatundu. It was just an overnight meeting between Kiraiji and Charles Jonjo that made it say, this man is so great, let us bury him. Overnight, the body was brought in Parliament and brought back. Although now we don't want that body there anymore, because we can't keep on burying all our presidents there. Moi was not buried there. But Uhuru should have finished his term, take his father's body, arudishe nyumbani. But I hope he's going to do that soon. Because Kenyatta is the only grave on earth that does not attract tourists. Other places, people pay to go and see this great Pan-Africanist. But his body is rotting in Parliament. Nobody has access to it. So who was the first Minister for Agriculture in Kenya? Independent Kenya. Yes, please. No. Yes? Okay. Yes?
It was Bruce Mackenzie, okay? It was an European because he wanted to protect the interests of the settlers. Who was the name 5 Pan-Africanists that you know? 1, quickly so that yes. Kwame Nkrumah, Arula, yes. Julius Nyerere, Arula, yes. Yes. Tom Mboya was not a Pan-Africanist as such. Yes, please. Mandela. Yes, Nelson Mandela. No, Jomo Kenyatta, yes, please give a ruler, not Nelson Mandela. Yes. Haile Selassie, please, 1. Zimeisha. Oh, okay. When did Kenya get independence? Yes. Which state? With Arula. Okay. And when did Tanzania attain its independence? Tanzania. Tanzania. Please raise up your hand, yes. Yeah? Please, Arula there. Please say it loudly. Who was the first president of Uganda? Please listen to this, Molim. Yes. Ugandan, no, yes, please. Yes? No. It was not Obote. Okay, who was the first president of Zambia? Zambia? By the way, if I was using PowerPoint, I would have finished all these questions because they were all there. Okay? Yes. Kenneth Kaunda. Yes, Kenneth Kaunda. Who was Tom Mboya? Just answer that question very briefly. Who was he? Who was Tom Mboya? Mwalimu, they are saying that you are not checking on the other side. Yeah, wanasema unawaonea. Zimeisha? Oh, okay. So we have 5 more questions. Okay, that question. Okay, what do we say we can do as young Pan-Africanists? What can we do to show? Yes, yes, please. Okay, please. Yes. We should read what? Okay, Arula. Yes, please. Watch news. What type of news? Okay, please quickly. Yes. Think globally, very good. Yes. What? Never see injustices and keep quiet. Yes. Read the history of the country. Yes. Okay. If you know who drafted session of paper number, was it number 4? Who drafted it on socialism and its significance at independence? If you know, stand up. If you know, stand up, however many you are. Hakuna mtu anajua. Yes? Who drafted socialism and its application to the development of Kenya after independence? Section of paper number 10. It was section of paper number 10. Section of paper number 10. Yes. There were 2 people. Yes. Kenyatta? No. Kenyatta Road facing Mount Kenya, facing Mount Kenya. Yes? Yes, please. Tomboya, yes. Very good. With who? Let's clap for him. Yes. Tomboya. Now it has been said already. One more person, please. Okay, yes. Eh? No, Jaramogi did not even know anything about it. Yes. Okay, with Mike back. Okay. So I think because of time, and I'm sure you want to listen to the Vice Chancellor, I will give you some sweets. I brought them from Nakuru. I don't know kama zitawatosha. Nunua zingine. Yeah. Then, thank you for being good students. Let us continue to inspire each other in the spirit of Pan-Africanism. Shall we do that? Now, spirit of Pan-Africanism requires that you study and read. Let us be found in the library all the time, please. Okay? Thank you very much.
And when I remember us.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Berry. A brilliant keynote speech. Having a passport in that is your right. Having a passport, right. Our comrades. Today all of them are comrades. Today you are all comrades because we delivered. So if today you told the professor here has traveled all over the world, and he is told, give me 5 students who are interested in history, or who are in the class of history to travel in 3 days' time. How many will be qualified? You have a passport? What is the number one thing that will require for you to travel? So make sure you have it in your plan. To your guardians, talk to your parents, the importance of this document. Thank you so much, Professor. Welcome. We are joined by members of management, the DVC, Administration, Finance and Planning. You can make a brief comment before you invite the Vice Chancellor.
Good afternoon, comrades. Good afternoon, boys and girls. Now, my time and yours will be later. But for now, I just want to thank everybody on behalf of the administration that this is a very instrumental moment. Not only library week, it is also on the other side. It will be starting this week, the cultural week. So I have nothing much to say because I would say I am the best reader or I'm the best writer. But when it is talked about the library week, then it is the time for going to the library and getting knowledge and technology, isn't it? And with that few remarks, I want to call the DVC academics, research affairs, to welcome our VC. Thank you.
I will invite Dr. Motari, the librarian. We have some gifts to receive. Dr. Motari.
Thank you, DVC. Yeah, we have our friends from KNLS, Kenya National Library Services. They want to talk to us just briefly about reading as we go to listen to our VC. So, and then they can present the books. Then we can distribute a few books to, we have 2 high schools here. So, Fred, we have 2 high schools. But, oh, so we're having 2 high schools, and I'm requesting Freddie we can divide those books, especially the reading ones, and then we give to this school one, then the other one is Lukenya Community School. So, this Fred Tunya from Canada is also our student. He's doing public administration and county governance. Can we clap for him? Yes.
Thank you. To our Vice Chancellor today, the distinguished faculty, our guests, students, good afternoon. My name is Fred Tunya. I'm the current chairperson for YALI. How many of you have heard of YALI? YALI. Yeah, so YALI is a leadership program that was started by President Obama when he was the president to invest in the next generation of young leaders. It's a program that impacts and showcases the potential of young people. I'm here also to represent the Kenya National Library Service, their liaison. We thank the VC and the leadership of the institution and the library management for the request we made for some learning materials for you as students. I just want to be brief because today, allow me to step back and read the banner. This Library Week is more about celebrating the Pan-African, right? But also for me, I strongly believe that the library alone is not where you get access to opportunities. And that's why we're here today, to showcase all of you, both my fellow students here at Lukenya University and young students or young pupils who are also working so hard. There's more of opportunities that you can access beyond your classrooms. And that's why we always say library is where you get knowledge. Classroom is where you get knowledge and depth. But beyond classroom is where you get access. And it's access that allows you to see the world differently and build on ideas that you have. So as I, take my seat, there's something important that Dr. Mutari Mumanyi requested me to show and share with all of you today. In my capacity as the chairperson of YALI, a program that is heavily funded by USAID. You all know USAID. Today, USAID is not in existence because of the US administrative changes. But there is something so unique about YALI, and it has to be shared with young people like you. When you get to the library, you have access to materials that can expose you to the world. But what we do at YALI is also presenting opportunity for you to write winning proposals or grants proposals. Grants are not won by people who have ideas. Grants are won by people who are passionate about presenting those ideas differently. And therefore, today, if you want to win a scholarship, okay? How many of you would want to win scholarships? Ngapi wanataka kuwin scholarship? The speaker who spoke a few minutes ago, Professor, said that a passport is the most important tool for you to succeed. If you want to win scholarship, if you want to win grants, project grants, if you want to win youth funds, if you want to win opportunities, that touches on your exposure, then the most important thing that you need to note today during this important library week is to go beyond your classroom and the library. You understand that? Go beyond your books and your if you want to win a scholarship, you must not only be passionate about winning a scholarship, you must also be aware of how to present your idea to convince someone you're requesting for scholarship, for youth fund, for an opportunity grant, or for a project grant. So I just want to thank you for putting this together, and the university for exposing these young people to opportunities that the university can as well leverage and give to them. Thank you so much, and I wish all of us a very successful library week. Asante.
Yeah, I want to put some statement that yesterday he had an accident at Magadi, but because he loves us so much, and there's a session that is meeting, Prof is organizing a session in the afternoon with the history students where Professor Baberi will be there, and also Fred will also be there to talk to those historians and how they can be writing grant winning proposals. So thank you, Fred, for coming. Even after the accident, we pray that God also spared you and the other people you are together. Thank you. Now I invite the DVC for protocol purposes.
Thank you so much, Fred, for making the donations and give our regards to the KNLS Association. And at this moment, I would like to invite our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Judy Fuller, to make remarks. This microphone needs a stillness. So welcome, Dr. Judith Wafula.
Hello. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Virginia, the Chief Executive Vice Chancellor in charge of academics, research, and student affairs. Thank you very much for organizing this together with the University Librarian, Dr. Motari Evans Momanyi. So we really thank you together with the library committee. We have members of the library committee here. I don't know if some of them might not be here now. So if you're a member of the library committee, just stand wherever you are. Members of the library committee, just wherever you are. Yeah, so those are some of the members. He's the secretary to the library committee. The DVC is the chair of the library committee. All the other members there. Yes, you see our students are members of the library committee because we are inculcating a reading culture, and we really want them to be involved. Thank you, appreciate them. Yeah, so those are the people behind this function. They have really organized it and worked hard to enable us to celebrate this week. So thank you very much for joining us on this week. We really appreciate you because you are the first people to come to Lukenya University on this week. So you are really special to us. So just clap for yourself. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, the teachers. I don't know where the teachers are, wherever they are. Yeah, we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for bringing the students to share with us this library week. And this is a preparation for them to join us. So you should know now, now we are already calling you comrades, meaning you're already part of us. Huh? So as you complete your high school, you're joining university. That's what we are telling you. After you finish your high school, you're joining university. So you need to come, join us here. Of course, I know others will be going to different other places, maybe others outside. Yeah? You'll have a passport, but it's okay. So long as you proceed with your studies. Your studies don't end in high school. You need to progress and be able to study even at the university and be able to gain more knowledge, more skills, more understanding of the world, do more exploration of the world, and just impact many, not just here in Kenya, but all over the world. So we are really humbled and happy to have you. So thank you very much also for our speakers. We really thank you for coming, Dr. Baberi, Professor Baberi, thank you. You've been with us. He's also been part of us in terms of teaching our students. So we really appreciate you for your service to Lukenya University and also for joining us on this occasion for the work that you're doing. We really appreciate you. Thank you, Mr. Fred Jr. Thank you very much for coming and joining us for this session. We really appreciate you and also for the donation. I think it will be good to be taking some copies of the pizza and we hand over to the schools so that they have received their donations that have been brought, and we are really happy that you have come and that you have even brought that contribution that you are going to make to the young ones here. So it also tallies with our